This might be one of the most versatile shoes Nike have made in years, because you can take this from road to gravel to light trail without even thinking about it. But here's the problem, it's not built for everything. So in this video I'm going to show you exactly what this works for and what it doesn't, so you know if the Nike ACG Pegasus Trail can replace all of your other shoes. So first impressions, this actually feels much better running than I expected, especially in mixed terrain, road into gravel, into light trail. It just feels really smooth the whole way through. And one thing that I noticed straight away is that you didn't have to change your stride or what you did underfoot despite the changes in surfaces. It just felt really natural underfoot. It actually feels closer to a road shoe than a traditional trail shoe when you're running on road, which is why it works so well for these kinds of mixed terrains. And because of that, I think for a lot of people it's going to work really well for a hiking shoe, daily use, or for running. So it's your do-it-all versatile option. But the strange thing is, when you look underneath the shoe, it doesn't seem that remarkable. So when we look at the outsole, we've got 3.5mm lugs with a hybrid pattern, and Nike are using the ATC 2.0 rubber compound, which they feel increases the grip by 30% and increases the abrasion resistance by 25%. And so far it's done really well on gravel, compact trails, even on wet rock. It actually holds better than what you'd expect. I didn't feel like I had to speed up or slow down depending on the surfaces underfoot. It was just very smooth. That's also thanks to the geometry and the changes to the midsole, which we'll touch on. And when we have a closer look at these 3.5mm lugs, you can see the hybrid positioning of them means that you get traction in different directions, and you can see it's got more of a washboard effect towards the medial aspect of the heel, which is primarily where most people will heel strike, giving you that extra grip when you're descending. And when we think about the ride in this shoe, whether you're hiking or running in it, we've got Nike's React X 3.0 midsole, so it's actually quite a balanced midsole overall. When you initiate contact with the heel, you've got lots of padding underfoot. Roughly, from what we can find out at the minute, it's a 31mm stack, so an 8mm drop. When you initiate contact with the ground, you get that shock absorption, that really smooth feel, and you transition nicely from the back to the front of the shoe. That's partly due to the nice heel bevel at the back, and then we've got a mild to moderate forefoot rocker, so you can see how the shoe tilts upward without too much toe spring in it. So that means that you get a really nice transition when you're running on the road, on flat surfaces, or on forest paths. Now it feels quite stable underfoot despite being a classic neutral shoe. It doesn't have the broadest base underneath the heel or the midfoot, so if you're someone who needs tip post support or arch support, this isn't the option for you. It does have a broad base underneath the forefoot, despite not having a lot of sole flare or sidewalls. It gets some ankle stability by having a rigid heel counter at the back of your ankle that helps to control pronation moments when you initiate contact with the ground. Really useful for when you're fatigued and you just need an extra element of support. Now it does have a very flexible forefoot, and that's really helpful in terms of increasing that ground contact feel. So it's, rather than being a mat stack shoe, you get that really nice feel underneath your foot. The downside of that is you don't get as much protection. It doesn't have a rock plate in there, so those of you who have a sensitive ball of the foot or issues with the big toe joint, this may not be an option for you. But for the majority of the population, you'll have plenty of confidence underfoot, whether you're running on road surfaces or you move onto those gravel paths or forest terrain. Now one of the big things that I was really impressed with is on top of the shoe we've got a really wide toe box. So this is a problem that we get in a lot of trail shoes. They make it very snug at the top of the shoe to give you really good contact and it feels like you're locked into the shoe. Well, Nike are following what we're seeing in a lot of newer shoes, in that it's really broad in the forefoot, but you still get a really good lockdown in the midfoot and in the heel. Has a slightly deeper heel cup than most shoes. That helps lock in the foot, so when you're going downhill, changing directions, you're kept centered in the shoe. One downside to the new engineered mesh upper is that it's slightly low in terms of volume in the toe box. So if you have a larger foot, especially in height, or you have a rigid higher arch, you may not enjoy the fact that it's relatively fat in the forefoot. But again, for the majority of people, this should be really accommodating, allowing your toes to splay, giving you that better contact feel, better push off phase in the gait cycle when you're running. So what are the limitations to this shoe? Well, it is a do-it-all option. However, if you're running on deep mud, really soft ground, or very technical mountain terrain, this isn't the best option on the market. It will struggle to give you grip underfoot, and when I was out, it had been raining for 3 days straight beforehand, and I was really trying to avoid that deep muddy trail path and running up on the embankment, just because I felt like I wasn't steady enough underfoot. I felt really locked in, but just not enough grip. On wet gravel, on rocks, I felt really sticky. Really nice grip underfoot, very similar to what we get in the Vibram Mega Grip. Now the shoe is more flexible in the forefoot, so not ideal for those of you who need extra protection, or if you run on sharp granite, sharper rocks, you're not going to get that protection that a rock plate gives you in some other shoes on the market. So if you wanted a an out and out proper trail shoe that covers everything that you need, this probably isn't the best option. However, where it shines is if you're looking for a road to trail option that really is a true versatile shoe. So for instance, if you're going on holidays and you just wanted to pack one shoe that would cover the trails and the roads, this is the shoe that I'd take with me. It's ideal for easy runs, steady efforts, or just general mileage where you're focusing on speed and comfort, because it's got a really smooth transition from the back to the front of the shoe. The balanced cushioning gives you a great ground contact feel, and it's just a steady workhorse of a shoe. If you've seen a review of the Nike Pegasus Trail 4, you've seen that we clocked up over 500 miles in it, hardly anywhere overall. So if Nike feel that they've increased the durability in the outsole, well, this is going to be an epic shoe that you're going to get tremendous value for your money. One of the other downsides that I haven't touched on is the weight, which is relatively heavy given my size 12 US, and it's slightly heavier than what we see in the Nike Pegasus Trail 5. So for a lot of people, this is going to be an excellent option as a do-it-all shoe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel or you watch us regularly and haven't subscribed, please do, as a single thing that you can do for free that makes the biggest difference to our channel. Otherwise, as always, there's links to the shoe in the description below if you want to check out the latest prices on Amazon. Thank you very much for watching.